I think I've restarted a new one now. You are live. Okay, we're good.
It's just hard to know what you're doing.
Okay, we're good. Sweet. That was easy. That's the first time I've ever had to do that.
Lock the doors. The question before
That's the first time I've ever had to do that.
the Senate
Beauty.
is that the question is the Schedule 2 stand
Awesome.
as printed. Those for the question pass to the right of the chair, nose to the left. I point Senator Ciccone as teller for the ayes and Senator Askew as teller for the noes.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Thank you for that. Thank you for that recommendation, because we just made the deadline. That was a 11 hours and 49 minutes. Fuck. That's insane. 12-hour streams. Probably need to do another 2 hours, I reckon, by the looks of it. I'm like, ugh. Can't wait to have a shower just to freshen up. Mother of all guillotines.
We're endorsing.
Part 2. That's so cool. I'm so glad that was seamless. Awesome. That was awesome. If anyone feels sorry for me and wants to contribute to my alcohol fund, there's a link in my bio on Twitter, and you can buy me a beer. I thought I was going to be able to drink tonight, but it looks like I'm going to have to wait until tomorrow. Patricia, have a beer or two on me. You deserve it for taking us on this frustrating but educational process of how to defunk our parliament, how defunct our parliament really is. Let me just mute that. Thank you, Patricia. Susie, really appreciate all that you're doing. Thank you so much, Susie. James Murphy, sub to my channel. Let's collab soon. What's your channel? Hookstagram. Oh, Hookstagram. Okay. Send me a message on Twitter, and I'll check my DMs in the next couple of days. But yeah, all right, sounds good. Let's do it. Yeah, if anyone wants to drop us a beer, there's a link pinned in my bio on Twitter. Because this is going to go way longer than I thought. I thought I was going to be able to drink tonight. Where's the Senate? Here we go. What bill are we up to? Live minutes. Privacy and other legislation still. Okay. Get drunk on stream.
Lock the doors.
Nah, I already feel like I'm intoxicated.
The question before the Senate is that
We're
the Australian Greens
5
amendments
minutes
on
away
sheets
from
3016
12-hour
revised, 3017 revised, and 3018 be agreed to.
And then not only
Those
that,
for
you want to
question
see
pass
something
to the
funny?
right of the chair, nose to
I'll
the
show
left
you
of the
something
chair.
funny.
I appoint Senator McKim as teller for the ayes and Senator Kovacic as teller for the
I
noes.
just got sent this on Instagram just a minute ago. Where is it? Yeah. you guys ready for the next story? Naomi's watching me on TV. That's funny. That is funny. What is going on? What the fuck is going on?
Honourable Senators, there being 12 ayes and 22 noes, it's passed in the negative. The question now is that the remaining stages of the bill be agreed to and the bill be
it's
now
understandable,
passed.
but
Those
god
for the
damn.
question say aye. Against no. I think the ayes have it.
I can't wait for the
Division
high
required.
court
Ring the bells. 1
cases
minute.
that come from this. This comment. I expect to see Ross Cadell running to a division in his pajamas. I mean, what is it now? 9 o'clock. I wouldn't be upset if any of the senators are in their pajamas at this time of the day.
Lock the doors. The question now is that the remaining stages of the bill be agreed to and the bill be now passed. Those for the question passed to the right of the chair, noes to the left of the chair. I appoint Senator Ciccone as teller for the ayes. And Senator Kovacic as teller for the noes. Do you want me to start again? I'll just give you a moment to organise the whipping sheets.
How are you, Deputy President?
I'm going to put the question again.
This comment's great.
The question is that the remaining stages of the bill
bad,
be agreed to and the bill be now passed. Those for the question passed to the right of the chair, noes to the left of the chair. I appoint Senator Ciccone as teller for the ayes and Senator Kovacic as teller for the noes. Yeah, I'm voting.
Amanda, it's just pinned on X, so just go on my X account here, and it's just the website link here. So you know what? I might need to change the beer to a coffee, back to a coffee. So I changed it to a beer today because I thought, worst case scenario, I'm having commiseration beers, but I think I'm gonna need coffee. So yeah, I might need to change that to coffee. But if you want to give us a shout, it's just in my bio on Twitter. But yeah, thank you for that. I'll read this comment. This is bloody hilarious. It's like some old fella. He goes, because I put this
Honourable
post on
Senators,
Facebook.
there being 31 ayes and 23
He goes,
noes, it's resolved
voting
in
on
the
surveillance
affirmative.
laws at midnight. Nothing says transparency
Clark.
like sneaking in dystopian policies while the nation sleeps.
A bill for an act to amend the law in relation to privacy and the criminal law and for related purposes.
Honourable Senators, I have received a message from the House of
Or is Hanson.
Representatives
That's true.
forwarding the surveillance legislation
Let's check the
confirmation of
last few
application bill
divisions and see if Pauline
2024
Hanson is
for
there.
concurrence. Minister.
Because
Thank you,
Pauline
Deputy
Hanson
President. I move that this bill be now read a
in
first
MIA.
time.
The question is that this bill now be read a first time. Those for the question say aye. Against no.
All right, Gerard Rennick is
The
still
ayes
there.
have it. Clark.
Abed's still there.
A bill
Jacinta
for an
Price
act to
is still
confirm the
there.
application of
Payment's still
surveillance
there.
device and
Canavan's
related
still there.
legislation
Cadell's still
and
there.
for related purposes.
16
Question.
Liberal Party members are still there.
Sorry, I table a revised explanatory
Including Alex
memorandum
Yancey.
relating to the surveillance legislation confirmation of application bill 2024.
Thank you,
Malcolm
Minister. I
Roberts
intend to
is
put
there.
the second
Jackie
reading
Lambie's
question,
there. Pocock,
and the
Tyrrell,
remaining parts of the bill. The question
all the
now
Greens
is
are
the
there,
remaining stages of the bill
and
be
16
agreed
Labor
to
Party
and the bill be now
senators are there.
passed. Those for the question say aye. Against no.
But no
Ayes
Pauline
have it.
Hanson.
Clark.
A bill for an act to confirm the application of surveillance device and related legislation and for related purposes.
I will deal with the Treasury Laws Amendment, Mergers and Acquisitions Reform Bill 2024. The question is that this bill now be read a second time. Those for the question say aye. Against no.
Strong
The
iced
ayes
coffee.
have
It's
it.
so hot.
Clark.
Yeah,
A bill
iced
for an act
coffee
to
would be
amend the
good.
Competition and Consumer Act 2010 and for related purposes.
The question now is that this bill be now read a third time. Those for the question say aye. Against no. The ayes have it. Clark.
A bill for an act to amend the Competition and Consumer Act 2010 and for related purposes.
I will now deal with the Migration Amendment Bill 2024 and two other bills, starting with the second reading amendments. So we come to sheet 2619, standing in the name of One Nation. Turning to the second reading amendment circulated by Pauline Hanson's One Nation, the question is that the Pauline Hanson's One Nation amendment on sheet 2619 be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Against no. I think the noes have it. I did hear voices. Division required? Division required. Ring the bells. 1 minute.
Just catching up on anything that I may have missed on my DMs. It's kind of funny. BBC was like, we will bring you that news at around 8 o'clock or 8:30 once it comes to us. Fucking 9:15.
Lock the doors. The question before the Senate is that Pauline Hanson's One Nation amendment on sheet 2619 be agreed to.
What's
Those
this?
for the question pass to the right of the chair, noes to the left of the chair. I appoint Senator Roberts as teller for the ayes and Senator Kovacic as teller for the noes.
Still the privacy one. Migration amendment. Okay. Hey, everyone on Twitter, if you haven't, could you just quickly give the live stream a repost? I know it's bloody dumb fuck PM, but we need to wake people up. We need to let them know that this is happening. Like, this is still happening. I've just posted it everywhere. I put it on Telegram, Facebook, Insta, everywhere. This has got to be the biggest act of fucking, like, communism, or I don't even know how to describe
Honourable
it.
Senators, there
Bloody
being
history of this
3
country.
ayes and 32 noes, it's
This
passed
is a
in the
long
negative.
skit.
I will now deal with the amendment circulated by Senator Thorpe. This is sheet 2500.
I'm gonna take a break for like 2 minutes. I'll be
The
back.
question is that the Senator Thorpe amendment on sheet 2500 be agreed to.
I'm gonna just freshen
Those for the question say aye.
I'll have my phone
Against
on me.
no.
So it's okay.
I think the noes have it. I will now deal with the amendment circulated by Senator Pocock.
Deputy President, I seek leave to withdraw amendments on sheet 2495.
And that leaves 3168, which you wish me to put to the Senate. The question is that Senator David Pocock's amendment or amendments on sheet 3168 be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Against no. I think the noes have it. Division required. Ring the bells. 1 minute.
Nah, I just ran straight back. Matt Canavan shared the stream. Matt Canavan shared the stream. Whoops. There's going to be feedback. Matt Canavan just shared the stream. That's got to be the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. He reckons it's happening now. Oh my god. Matt Canavan shared the fucking stream.
Lock the doors. The question is that the Senator David Pocock amendments on sheet 3168 be agreed to. Those for the question pass to the right of the chair. Those to the left of the chair. I appoint Senator Pocock
my
as
night's
teller
made.
for the ayes.
Thanks, Matt.
And Senator Kovacic as teller for the noes.
Well, I was wrong. Apparently it's now. My bad. I just need to make a post. Apparently it's coming up very soon now. Join the live. I just need the link. Where's the link? Hey, thanks for the share, Matt Canavan. That's funny, man. That is so funny.
Honourable Senators, there being 14 ayes and 24 noes, it's passed in the negative. I will now deal with the second reading amendment circulated by the Australian Greens. This is sheet 3228.
I didn't mean for the
Question
confusion,
is that the
but
Australian Greens amendment on sheet
we'll see.
3228
It says it's coming up
be agreed
soon,
to.
and then
Those
might
for the
be waiting
question say
another hour.
aye. Against no. I think the noes have it. Division required. Ring the bells. 1 minute.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Shout out Matt Canavan. Anyway, is this happening or what? What's going on? The numbers just went up big time. Far out. I think they went up by like 700 people. Lock the doors.
Lock the doors. The question is that the Australian Greens amendment on sheet 3228 be agreed to. Those for the question pass to the right of the chair, noes to the left of the chair. I appoint Senator McKim as teller for the ayes, Senator Kovacic as teller for the noes. Honourable Senators, there being 12 ayes and 26 noes, it passed in the negative. The question now is that these bills now be read a second time. Those for the question say aye. Against no. The ayes have it. Division required. Ring the bells. 1 minute.
$19,232 people. This number is actually going up big time at the moment. I think Canavan just brought in 1,000 people. Wow. That's funny. Canavan reckons it's coming up soon, but I don't know. I'm going to guess in another half hour at least.
Lock the doors. The question now is that these bills now be read a second time. Those for the question pass to the right of the chair, noes to the left of the chair. Appointed as teller for the ayes, Senator Ciccone. Teller for the noes, Senator McKim. Honourable Senators, there being 25 ayes and 13 noes, it's resolved in the affirmative. Clerk.
Migration Amendment Bill 2024, Migration Amendment Removal and Other Measures Bill 2024, Migration Amendment Prohibiting Items in Immigration Detention Facilities Bill 2024.
I will now deal with the Committee of the Whole amendments to the Migration Amendment Removal and Other Measures Bill 2024, starting with amendments circulated by the government. I understand the Minister has documents to table. Minister.
Thank you, Deputy President. I table an addendum to the explanatory memorandum relating to the Migration Amendment Bill 2024. The addendum responds to matters raised by the Scrutiny of Bills Committee, and I table a supplementary explanatory memorandum relating to the government amendments to be moved to the Migration Amendment Removal and Other Measures Bill 2024.
We come to sheet SV 105. The question is that the government amendments on sheet SV 105 be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Against no. I think the ayes have it. Division required. Ring the bells. 1 minute. Lock the doors. The question before the
I'm
Senate
muted. Sorry,
is
I
that
was just
the
talking to
government
myself. Don't worry about it.
amendments on sheet SV 105 be agreed to. Those for the question pass to the right of the chair, noes to the left of the chair. Appoint Senator Ciccone as teller for the ayes and Senator McKim as teller for the noes.
20,000. What's the biggest that we've had? I think it's maybe like 30,000. See if I can find it. Yeah, someone put a comment there. They were like, why don't these guys replace Kim William? 36K the other day, I think. Well, we got to pump up those numbers. We're
There
just
being
under
26
21K.
ayes and 12 noes, it's resolved in the affirmative. I will now deal with the amendment circulated by Pauline Hanson's One Nation. This is sheet 2491. The question is that the Pauline Hanson's One Nation amendments on sheet 2491 be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Against no. The noes have it. I will now deal with the amendments circulated by Senator Thorpe. This is sheet 2597. The first question is that in Schedule 1, items 2 and 4 and subsection 199C, subsection 5, and sections 199E, 199F, and 199G in item 3 stand as printed. Those for the question say aye. Against no. The ayes have it. We now come to the second question. Question now is that the remaining Senator Thorpe amendments on sheets 2597 and 2605 and the amendments on sheets 2533, 2551, 2552, 2553, 2554, 2557 and 2596 be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. The noes have it. I will now deal with the amendment circulated by Senator David Pocock. This is sheets 2494 and 2522. The first question is that the following stand as printed. In Schedule 1, subsection 199E2 in item 3. In Schedule 2, items 3 to 9. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. The ayes have it. The next question is that the Senator David Pocock amendments on sheets 2492, 2493, 2497, 2520, 2521, 2602, 2603 and
Just for
2604
this is
be agreed to.
Ben
Those for the
Hickson.
question say
You need
aye.
to run for a Libertarian or One
Against,
Nation.
no.
Do you do
The
other work
noes have it.
outside of this? I do a little
I
bit of
will
work outside of
deal
this, but
now with
I mean,
Committee of
I really
the
want to
Whole
take this to the
amendments
next level.
to the
So
Migration
I'm
Amendment
sort
Bill
of going to go
2024,
like
starting with
all
the
in on
amendments
this.
circulated
I
by
reckon
Senator
coming into the
David
new year.
Pocock. So we're coming to sheet
When are
3166.
you going on the
The
arc?
first
I mean,
question is that the
I
Senator
don't think I want to
David
appear on
Pocock
anyone's
amendments
show.
on
I think I
sheets
just want to
3166
focus on my own
be
thing
agreed
and
to. Those for the
just want to
question say
focus
aye.
on
Against, no.
like
I think the noes
amplifying
have
other
it.
people's messages now.
We now come to
I
sheet
think I've got a pretty good base now.
3167.
I just want
The
to
question
help
is
other
that
people
Schedule
grow
2 standards printed.
and just
Those for the
educate
question
people as
say
well.
aye. Against, no. The ayes have it. I will now deal with the amendment circulated by Senator Thorpe. We come to sheet 3177. The question
I love
is
how they're doing Lydia
that
Thorpe's
items 6
amendments,
to 9 of
and she's not even there.
Schedule 1 standards printed. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. The ayes have it. The next question is that the remaining Senator Thorpe amendments on sheet 3177 and the amendments on sheets 3173, 3174, 3175 and 3176 be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. The noes have it.
Division.
I will now deal with Committee of the Whole amendments to the Migration Amendment prohibiting items in immigration detention facilities, Bill 2024, circulated by Senator David Pocock. We're on sheet 3213. The question is that section 252BB in item 19 of Schedule 1 stand as printed. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. The ayes have it. We now come to sheet 3213. The question is that the remaining Senator David Pocock amendments on sheet 3213 be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. The noes have it. The question now is that the remaining stages of the bills be agreed to and the bills be now passed. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. The ayes have it. Division required. Ring the bells, 1 minute.
Anything new? Nothing new. Just taking their sweet, sweet time. They are on the migration amendment still.
Lock the doors. The question now is that the remaining stages of the bills be agreed to and that the bills be now passed. Those for the question pass to the right of the chair, noes to the left of the chair. I appoint Senator Ciccone as teller for the ayes, Senator McKim as teller for the noes. Honourable Senators, there being 26 ayes and 13 noes, it's resolved in the affirmative. Senators, that concludes consideration. Clerk.
Migration Amendment Bill 2024, Migration Amendment Removal and Other Measures Bill 2024, Migration Amendment Prohibiting Items in Immigration Detention Facilities Bill 2024.
Senators, that concludes consideration of the bills. Clerk.
Government Business Order of the Day, Online Safety Amendment, Social Media Minimum Age Bill 2024. Question to be put on the second reading amendments and the second reading immediately.
Wake up! Everyone wake up!
Honourable Senators, there are two second reading amendments. The first one is standing in the name of Senator Hanson-Young, and the second reading amendment, we are now on the Online Safety Amendment, Social Media Minimum Age Bill. Senator McKim.
Senator Schubert.
Senator Shoebridge, I understand from the clerk that we're now under a previous order. We're going straight into the questions of second reading and then dropping into committee. So I have two second reading amendments, one standing in the name of Senator Hanson-Young and then one standing in the name of Senator Roberts. I intend to put both those and then the substantive question. Put the question that the second reading amendments moved by Senator Hanson-Young be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. I think the noes have it. Division required. Division is required. Ring the bells. I'm going to give it 4 minutes.
This is the first time where they're given 4-minute divisions. Interesting.
No, it's 4 minutes.
Can't believe it, bloody hell. 10 p.m. They're gonna start doing this. Yeah, I think I saw Matt's post about the amendments. I'll explain things. Oh, something else. Okay, Matt just updated. I'll just repost it now. But they're still going to debate it, so this is going to go for a little while. Yeah, this is the bill. This is it. It is happening. It is happening. So based on what Matt said, this is the first one about the second reading amendments.
Lock the doors.
And then Malcolm Roberts, his vote is going to be important because his
The
vote
question
is going to
before the
be
Senate
to try to delay it.
is that the second reading amendment standing the name of Senator Hanson-Young be agreed to. Those the question passed to the right of the chair, noes to the left. Appoint Senator Kim as teller for the ayes, and Senator Kovacic as teller for the noes.
Come on, Malcolm Roberts. I want to see Malcolm Roberts lose his shit in that chamber. Come on, Malcolm. Come on, Malcolm. Lose your shit. Fingers crossed for a miracle, guys. Fingers crossed.
Or better still, title the charges. That works too.
Honourable Senators, there being 14 ayes and 37 noes, has passed in the negative. We now come to the second reading amendment, standing in the name of Senator Roberts. I intend to put that question. Put the question that the second reading amendment, standing in the name of Senator Roberts, be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. I think the noes have it. Division required. Division is required. Ring the bells. 1 minute.
(3186) Australian Greens. one. Okay, so that amendment was basically nothing. I'll show you just quickly. So the amendment was to say they want to add a legislative duty of care, and they want to say that Labor and Liberals attempt to ram this through without genuine scrutiny in under a week is rushed, reckless, and ignores expert advice. So actually, I'll make a post about this now.
The question before the Senate is that the second reading amendment standing the names of Senator Roberts be agreed to. Those for the question passed to the right of the chair, noes to
They're
the
gonna
left
say
of
no.
the chair. I appoint the teller for the aye, Senator Roberts, and teller for the no, Senator Kovacic.
They're going to say no. All right, breaking. These are the Liberal senators that voted no to have an amendment added to the social media minimum age bill, which would say it's so dumb. Kind of obvious why they didn't want this to be added. It's kind of funny though. The Joint Select Committee on Social Media heard the experts banning error from the will not make comments. Okay, yes, it's nothing.
There being 19 ayes and 34 noes, it's passed in the negative. I
Okay.
now intend to put the second reading question. Put the question that the bill now be read a second time. Those for the question say aye. Against no. I think the ayes have it. Division required. Ring the bells. 1 minute.
Actually, it's kind of surprising the people that said no for that to be added. Even Malcolm Roberts was on there. Malcolm Roberts and Matt Canavan was there, which is kind of I don't know, funny. You want to call it that? Do you guys think it's funny? Probably not.
Lock the doors. The question is that the bill now be read a second time. Those for the question pass to the right of the chair, noes to the left of the chair. I appoint Senator Ciccone as teller for the ayes and Senator McKim as teller for the noes.
I'm just going to pump out like a whole bunch of updates all at once because it's going to be hard to keep up. All right, where's that second division? So Malcolm Roberts one is 3203. Back 3203. That's a good question. I'll talk about it once we're done.
Honourable Senators, there being 34 ayes and 19 noes, it's resolved in the affirmative. Clerk.
A bill for an act to amend the Online Safety Act 2021 and for related purposes.
There are amendments. We are resolved into committee.
I'll take over. Thanks. Got my reading glasses on, so.
Just give me 15 minutes.
Oh, take your time.
Welcome. They're all Mickey.
In the nicest possible way, if senators could leave the chamber if they're not participating in this debate. Is it the wish of the committee that the bill be taken as a whole? There being no objection, is so ordered. The question is that the bill stand as printed, and before I go to you, Senator Canavan, I will go to the Minister. Minister.
Matt
I
Canavan
table a
just
supplementary
updated.
explanatory memorandum relating to government amendments to be moved to the bill.
Oh, this bitch. Matt Canavan just posted an update. He said that there's going to be 45 minutes of debate.
The government amendment 1 to 8, sheet SY 115 by leave together.
There being no objection to that, that is so moved. Minister.
Keeping Australians safe online is a top priority for the Albanese government, and we are focused on positive solutions.
Gerard
to
Rennick
issues
just
of
shared the
national
stream.
concern and reduce harms to children and young people from social media is right up at the top of that list. So these amendments provide additional privacy-enhancing measures in Part 4A to the Online Safety Act 2021 Online Safety Act.
All of
Now,
the
in practical
senators are
terms,
sharing it.
these amendments
What's
mean
going
that
on,
no
man?
Australian will be forced to use government identification, including digital ID, for age assurance on social media. This will give Australians confidence regarding the impact of the social media minimum age obligation on their personal information. And it does this through supplementary amendments. The first is a new section 63DA. This provides for the Minister for Communications to make legislative rules to exclude certain types of information being collected and used by platforms for the purposes of the minimum age obligation. A breach of this provision gives rise to significant penalties. The rule-making power enhances the privacy of users and their information. It gives the Minister the discretion to prohibit the collection of specified kinds of information subject to advice from both the E-Safety Commissioner and Information Commissioner. This is an important change and will ensure the legislation continues to meet community expectations as technology evolves. Now, this is complemented by a new section 63DB. This new section provides that platforms must not collect identification issued by government or require the use of an accredited service within the meaning of Section 9 of the Digital ID Act 2024 as the only means of age assurance to comply with the minimum age obligation. To promote user choice and an inclusive set of assurance options, age-restricted social media
shout out
platforms
to
will
Gerard
only
Rennick.
be able to use
20,000
government-issued
people now.
identification or accredited services under the Digital ID Act 2024 information or material if other alternative age assurance methods have been
Gerard
provided to
Rennick
users.
and
Additionally,
Matt
the
Canavan.
bill expands
Tell
on
them
Australia's privacy
that there's
framework by giving the
27,000 people
Information
watching.
Commissioner oversight over the privacy-related aspects of the minimum age obligation. The Office of the Australian Information Commissioner is
I'm gonna
best
say
placed
that
to
to
ensure
Matt
that
Canavan
privacy
and
provisions
Rennick right
are
now.
administered consistently and robustly. Finally, any breaches of these proposed amendments give rise to significant penalties. A maximum of 30,000 civil penalty units, currently equivalent to $9.9 million, or 150,000 penalty units, currently equivalent to $49.5 million if the provider is a body corporate. The penalty amounts are intentionally large This reflects the important
Please
privacy
tell them.
implications
Say it
of
in the
provisions.
chamber.
It also sends a strong signal to social media platforms.
Tell them that there's
Treat
27,000
Australians'
people in
privacy
the on
Now,
stream
Australia
watching
has
them.
consistently paved the way in global online safety. These supplementary amendments will
Please tell
strengthen the
them.
already robust and strong privacy arrangements included in the original bill.
Everyone, please retweet that. I just
Thank you, Minister.
retweeted
Senator
it.
Henderson.
Thank you very much,
Please
Chair.
tell
The
them.
Coalition supports these amendments. We are pleased to say we have been involved in constructive negotiations with the government to strengthen the bill. One of the major issues we sought changes on related to privacy. This is a very important issue, and we provided the proposed changes to the government, which of course have now been incorporated into this amendment. We are very pleased that the government has accepted our changes, which, as I say, are reflected in the government's amendments. The new provisions make it clear that
God, I'm
people
fucking
cannot
shaking.
be compelled to
Come
provide
on, please
digital
do it.
ID
Please.
or government-issued identity documents, such as driver's licenses or passports
This
under this legislation.
This
This
bitch
has now,
is
due to the
representing
hard
the
work of the
coalition, eh?
coalition, this has now been explicitly prohibited. There was a second important change as well
Sarah Henderson.
regarding strengthening ministerial oversight. Following our negotiations with the government, changes will be made so that the Communications Minister will be able to make
Senator.
rules specifying information which social media platforms are not able to collect
1
in
second.
order
I'm
to
just going to make a
comply
clip.
with the legislation. What this means is that this will enable the Minister to make rules to ensure that guidelines issued under the legislation are appropriate and proportionate to the objectives of the law. These are both very significant changes which materially strengthen the bill. And we do, of course, thank the government for agreeing to make these changes. The Coalition has, of course, led the charge on this bill. And we know, of course, what has driven this, Chair. What has driven is the very profound mental health concerns that so many young people are suffering as a result of social media. We know there is widespread concern and evidence about the severe mental health impact of social media on children. We've seen very disturbing global trends in youth mental health since the rise of social media, especially for girls. According to the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare, there has been a more than threefold increase in the rate of intentional self-harm hospitalisations for girls under 14 from 2008-9 through to 2022-23. In recent years, there have also been very large increases in the rate of mental health issues amongst children and young people. As a 2022 independent report on self-harm commissioned by Australia's Therapeutic Goods Association noted, there have been very large increases in all intentional self-poisonings in older children, adolescents worldwide over the recent decade. We know, and particularly for the parents of the children who have tragically taken their own lives, we know that passing this bill right now is absolutely critical.
Order. Order.
I want to just, I do have a question for you, Minister, but I just want to reflect on the
Order.
bravery of parents who've spoken out about the importance of this bill. Parents like Matt and Kelly Howard, the parents of Charlotte O'Brien, with whom I met a couple of weeks ago. When I met with them, all I could say was there are no words after the tragedy that they have suffered. Charlotte took her life in September after suffering systemic bullying, in part caused by social
I'm
media.
sorry. I'm sure that girl was a
And her
beautiful
message
girl,
to
but
her mum and
to
dad
exploit her
was
life
that she wanted
in spite of
them to
the
raise
rest of
awareness
the
about what
country,
she had endured,
that's not
and she wanted
right.
to see change. And I cannot tell you how humbling it is
If
to
I
meet with
died
parents like
and the government
Matt
exploited my
and
life
Kelly
like that, I
and
swear to
listen
God,
to
I want
their
someone to
story
take revenge on my behalf,
and
please.
listen to their mission. And as I say, I think it is absolutely incumbent on this parliament to
It's fucking
do
disgusting,
the right thing.
man.
I want to particularly also commend both the Leader of the Opposition, Mr Dutton, who has led the charge on this. I'm pleased that the government has caught up, but Mr Dutton and the Shadow Minister for Communications, Mr Coleman, have really led the charge on behalf of the coalition. We have heard the cries of families who are suffering, and we
Sarah
cannot continue
Henderson.
to allow this to happen any longer.
Sarah
So,
Henderson.
to the Minister,
Your Twitter
Minister,
feed is about to get
does the government
absolutely
believe this
fucking destroyed.
legislation will force the tech
About
giants to actually use their
5
technology
seconds.
to help
Everyone
identify
refresh
and
my page
remove
in about
underage
10
kids?
seconds,
We're
10
very
seconds.
cognizant,
I've
of
tagged her
course,
in the
that
post as
TikTok
well.
removed 76 million
Uploading
underage
now.
children from their platform around the
Blow
world.
up her
1
notifications.
million young Australians are here in Australia, of course. And so could you just provide the confirmation in relation to that, please? Thanks.
Minister.
Uploaded. Let's go.
Thank you, Senator Henderson. And I should indicate that the government has been grateful for the willingness of the opposition to constructively engage in some of the ways that we might improve this bill. We have similarly been grateful to those senators who participated in the Senate inquiry, and many of them are here in the chamber this evening. And we're grateful too for the many Australians who have spoken out about this issue, either in the context of the Senate's inquiries or in the broader public debate. Senator Henderson, you spoke about some of the harms that you've observed in your interactions with families and with parents. And I think for many of us, this is a common experience in our interactions with parents and also with teachers, because parents are deeply distressed about some of the material that their children are exposed to online. They are uncertain about how to navigate the peer pressure that children experience from their friends and peers at school and at sport to be in
everyone
these social
destroy
media
Senator
environments.
Henderson
And they are looking for support
notifications.
from government to help them navigate these questions. These were not questions. And I think
We had
I think
38,000
it's safe to
last
betray
stream.
my age here. These were not questions that
We
were
are
relevant
gonna get.
questions when
We're
I
gonna
was
get
growing up.
there. We're just about on
These were not
30K.
relevant questions. There were other difficult
Wow.
questions for me to navigate as a young person, but this was not one of them. And parents, I think, are
This is
finding it very
insane, man.
difficult.
I
In
don't know
my
what the
home
hell to
state of
say.
New South Wales, the ban on mobile phones in schools has made
Keep my
a
mouth shut for a
significant
bit.
difference to the behaviour of children in schools and the way that children socially are interacting at school. It is clear that while technology has brought really significant benefits, it's also bringing non-trivial harms for children as well. We are confident that there are technological solutions available to us, Senator. You cited the example of TikTok. It's been much canvassed. That platform was able to identify by their own public statements a very large number of underage users on their platform and remove them. That did not require access to government documentation. It was based on information already available to that platform. The amendment that we are presently considering is actually based on that foundational understanding of the state of the technology. It may be that in some instances, social media platforms choose to offer an option to users to provide government documentation. But what this amendment ensures is that that will not be able to be the only means, the only choice offered to a potential user. What this amendment seeks to do
Order.
is in fact ensure that on every occasion when a person is asked to engage in an age assurance process, they have a choice. And it enlivens the obligations on technology companies to utilise the technology capabilities that they already possess to undertake this work and to make sure these platforms are safe and that people are using them in an appropriate way.
Senator Rennick, sorry, did beat you, Senator Lambie. Senator Rennick has the call.
So, you just said that taking mobile phones off children at schools has been very, very successful. The question
Let's
I
go,
have
Rennick.
is why can't you take mobile phones off children when they're at home? We take the phones off our children in the bedroom. We take them off the phone during the weekdays. They're allowed to have the mobile phone or the devices on the weekend, but, you know, that's in between sporting requirements, me forcing them to take the dog for the walk, you know, the mother telling them to get out there on the trampoline, go gardening, whatever. So I'm confused as to why we can't have some good old-fashioned parental supervision. Whatever happened to the role of the family, the role of the parents in the family? And I've been advocating for years the need to have a parent to stay at home while you're raising your children. And I stayed at home for 4 years. I don't want to turn this into a saying women should stay at home. I've never said that because Dad should stay at home more often. And indeed, I was just talking to Senator Hanson-Young yesterday. She's saying how she fought to have children in the chamber. And what a great thing that is. What a great thing that is. So
Senator
yet
Hanson-Young,
again, we've got another example of whereby the government thinks it can solve a problem. And, you know, I know Senator Henderson said before there's things like anorexia and, you know, children are subjected to these things on the internet, and that's fair enough, they are. But these things have always been around. Kate Moss,
Tell them that there's people watching, man.
back in the
Tell them.
1990s. I mean, I well remember.
I think that they
Karen
can drag this
Carpenter,
shit till
who
fucking
died from
midnight. Tell them,
anorexia,
Rennie, come on.
I'm not sure in the late 70s or early 80s. So we always have to deal with issues with our children. And the important thing is that they have close parental supervision so that you can detect if something's going on. Now, the other thing is, and I've raised this before, but it's worth raising again, is that you can have software that monitors your children's activity. We do that already. We monitor our children, and it is effective because we do have a middle child that loves to get up at about 3 o'clock on a Sunday morning, and the only way we can bust him is to actually, so you know, he sneaks the iPad into his room. He's terrible. So yet again, like, what guarantees do we have here that this is actually going to be effective? Because I think you'll find that children are very good at getting around laws. And what guarantees are we going to have that this is going to stop bullying? We can't stop bullying. This won't stop bullying per se. You know, what will stop bullying per se is, again, having a parent keeping a close eye on the children while they're growing up. And being in touch with your children, so if they are being bullied, you're aware of it. And I'll note the question, you know, a question raised the other day about VPNs. 33% of people in this country use VPNs, and I suspect most of that 33% are probably under 40, because most people over 40 probably wouldn't even know what a VPN is. And that's so virtual private network, and that's where effectively, you know, and the reply from the government was, in estimates, was that, well, we're going to get the social media companies to track the person if they have a VPN through geo-tracking. So here we've got, again, Big Brother surveillance coming in and, you know, watching every little thing we do, you know, every breath you take. So, you know, what is it? Every time we come down here, I feel like we're just holding the line, and we're not even doing that when it comes to government overreach and surveillance and command and control. So my question to you is, Minister, why is it that parents can't be encouraged to keep the devices from their children? You've just quoted the example of taking mobile phones off children in the schools, which is a good idea. Why can't that same very simple principle be applied in this situation when it comes to children having a social media account and monitoring that one?
Minister.
Thanks very much, Chair, and thanks for the question, Senator Rennick. Perhaps I can say this, Senator, we've been really clear, and actually many of the people participating in this debate, including the opposition leader, to be fair, have been very clear that this is not the only thing that we would advocate to support families in relation to some of these challenging questions, and nor do we expect this intervention to be a silver bullet. However, what we do hear from parents is that this is very significant and they are looking for assistance because they are not receiving the support that they expect should be available to them from the platforms themselves. And so one of the key features of the design of this bill, Senator, is that it really puts the onus on the platforms, not on the parents and not on the kids. We want platforms to simply take reasonable steps to ensure that users under the minimum age can't create or hold an account. Now, I think, based on the tenor of your questioning and your contribution just now, Senator, that you would accept the harms that are associated with excessive time online, at the very least, and it may be that you accept the harms associated with exposure to some of the more challenging features of social media. You know, in the United States, the Australian Psychological Association, for example, if you look at the evidence, found significant links between excessive social media use and poor sleep quality and poor mental health outcomes. And in particular, they pointed to the use of algorithms and the influence of those algorithms, and frankly, the near addictive nature of some of those algorithms, because they increase the likelihood of exposing young people to content that is inappropriate or negatively influential, such as glorifying eating disorders, glorifying self-harm, or exposing young people to extremist content. I think it would be a matter of agreement across this chamber that those things are not acceptable and are not good for our kids. And it's why this bill, it's why this bill is being brought to this place. I said to you earlier in my contribution that the onus is on the platforms, not on the parents. Just for clarity, there aren't any penalties for Australians who gain access to an age-restricted social platform, and there aren't any penalties for parents or educators who provide that access. It's impossible, and we accept this, for governments to completely stop young people from accessing harmful products or content. But we can help. We can help by asking the social media companies to play their role. And one of the things that we hear, and it was discussed, as I understand it, at the hearing that took place into this bill, is the significance of setting norms, because the bill will set clear parameters and norms for our society and assist ensuring the right outcomes.
Sorry, Minister, Senator Canavan's on his feet.
Relevance. The government and the opposition conspired to gag this debate tonight, and the minister's taken up about half the time, which I think was set aside for other senators who did not get an opportunity in the second reading debate to put some points of views. The minister is repetitively going over points that have been raised already in the second reading debate by government ministers. And so on the grounds of repetition, Chair, and with the limited time we have, I would ask if we could be succinct and give all senators the respect of an opportunity to contribute to this very important debate.
I think the minister is in order, but I'm sure the minister is aware of the different views of the chamber. Senator Henderson, I was going to go to Senator Lambie. Well, I've said I've actually made a ruling on that, Senator Henderson. Senator Lambie.
Thank you. Minister, I just wanted to know what algorithm changes have you told the social media companies to make? What algorithm changes have you told them to make?
Minister.
Thanks for the question, Senator Lambie. And as I indicated in my response to Senator Rennick, we are not asserting that this bill represents all of the work that is needed to engage And one of the things that Minister Rowland has been very clear about is that she intends to legislate a duty of care. And that goes to some of those questions around safety by design and the way that the algorithms work, not just to affect, frankly, users under 16, but to affect all users of platforms of this kind. That's work that she has indicated she intends to undertake.
Come on, Matt Canavan. I know you're watching.
Can I just indicate
Tell
to
them.
Senator Canavan, who made a set of points about
Tell
his
them.
desire, I imagine, and his expectation that other senators wish to contribute, that's perfectly fine, and I'm happy to try and keep my remarks as brief as
Come
possible.
on, Matt.
I
Tell them that
was just now
35,000
seeking to
people are
answer the
watching.
question put to me by Senator Rennick. If senators direct questions to me, I do intend to answer them. I understand that sometimes in committee stage, senators wish to make a more general contribution, and it's fine as well.
Senator Lambie, and then I'll come to you, Senator Roberts.
So there's no duty of care so far because this doesn't enact until 12 months. So we haven't worked out what the duty of care is. We haven't worked out what the rules are. So what about the data? Have you told them to destroy our data as soon as they receive it, the social media companies, or you haven't actually made that rule yet either?
I was going to call the Minister, Senator Canavan, or do you want a minute? Sorry.
Would you prefer that I don't answer the questions? I mean, it's challenging, Senator. I've been asked a question.
Minister.
Senator Lambie, the bill contains really explicit requirements for data that is collected in relation to age assurance, what it may be used for, and requirements for it to be destroyed. That is in the legislation.
Senator Lambie, yes.
Order. All I asked was, are the social media companies destroying that data when they have finished with it? It's simple, yes or no.
I can't direct the Minister. Senator Hanson, please. I can't direct the Minister as to how they can answer the question. I'll make sure the Minister is aware of the question. I call the Minister.
Senator Lambie, until the legislation passes, the privacy arrangements that are in the ledge are not in place. Social media companies are subject to some of Australia's privacy provisions, but the legislation actually establishes a higher standard in relation to the uses that may be used of information that is provided to these companies as part of meeting the requirements in this bill, and it also requires for the destruction of such data.
Senator Cameron, so I was going to go to Senator Roberts, and then I will go to Senator Canavan, who I did say some time ago I would go to. So Senator Roberts, then Senator Canavan. Senator Hanson-Young, I'm just trying to make sure that it gets around the chamber. Are you seeking the call at all in relation to these amendments, or can I come to you after these other two senators?
Well, this is a time-limited debate.
I know, so I'm just trying to spread the time.
I will want some time, yes.
Senator Roberts.
Thank you. My remarks are directed to the Minister, but also to people listening at home and to the Senate, and also to researchers and historians who will look back on this vote today in an attempt to understand what the hell the Senate was thinking. The amendment the government circulated, no doubt with the approval of the Liberal Party, answers that question. The Online Safety Amendment, Social Media Minimum Age Bill 2024, can act to force every Australian to be the subject of a digital ID in the name of keeping the children safe. And that's what my question is about, Minister. The committee accepted widespread public concern the bill was designed to force everyone to get a digital ID and promised to include an amendment to specifically rule that out. This government amendment, SY115, that you've moved, new provision 63DB1, excludes the use of government-issued identification or use of a digital ID. Great. Except 63DB2 provides that if social media platforms can come up with an alternative means of assessing age that does not involve digital ID or government documents, then they can, wait for it, accept a digital ID identification. In effect, this amendment specifies a social media platform cannot use digital ID by itself, but it can use digital ID as part of a more comprehensive verification. There's no need to guess what that could be. This bill contains the answer: age assurance software. The company which has been awarded the tender for the age assurance trial is a British company called Age Check Certification Scheme, whose main business is the provision of digital IDs backed by age assurance software. TikTok has used age assurance software to remove 1 million underage accounts from TikTok in Australia. The software can tell if a person is, for instance, under 12. That's useful. The smaller the gap between the user and the target age, 16 in this case, the less accurate it is. This software can't tell age within 6 months, and there's no way of knowing the person turned 16 on the day of their application. You just can't tell that from a face scan. Accessing social media on your 16th birthday, and most likely for months afterwards, will require a second identifier containing that child's facial scan and their date of birth, which is a digital ID, which this company specialises in. You're setting them up. I've criticised this bill as an opportunistic attempt to capitalise on the public desire for better regulation of social media to force all Australians to get a digital ID. I'll say that again. I've criticised this bill repeatedly, as have others, as an opportunistic attempt to capitalise on the public desire for better regulation of social media to force all Australians to get a digital ID. This amendment requires a change in my language, which is now: this bill is an opportunistic attempt to require every child, once they turn 16, to get a digital ID if they want to access social media. What age does the government's digital ID start from? 16. What a coincidence. This wasn't the intention all along. That's misinformation. This amendment actually exposes the original intention of the bill. Your amendment exposes the original intention of the bill, which was hidden in what looked like a poorly drafted bill. It wasn't poorly drafted. It was deliberately dishonest, and the short committee referral, which the government fought against, has exposed the deceit. The truth is now out there, and the decision before the Senate is a simple one. A vote for this bill is a vote to require every child to get a digital ID on their 16th birthday. Compulsory digital IDs aside, there are many other reasons to not pass this bill. I will now share with the Senate and with posterity the words of Australia's Human Rights Commission on the bill. One Nation fully supports the Commission's position, which deserves to be included in the Hansard record of the debate. I'll quote: social media is a vital platform for young people to share their ideas and opinions, engage in dialogue and participate in social and cultural activities. It can be a valuable educational tool by providing access to diverse perspectives, new and learning opportunities, as well as vital information about health, well-being and safety. A blanket ban risks unjustly curtailing these freedoms. Social media is integral to modern communication and socialisation. Excluding young people from these platforms may isolate them from their peers and limit their ability to access much-needed information and support. This is particularly important for young people from marginalised, vulnerable or remote communities. The social media ban will rely on effective age assurance processes. This is their words, Human Rights Commission. The social media ban will rely on effective age assurance processes being adopted, which means that all Australians may be required to prove their identity in order to access social media. This may potentially require all Australians to provide social media companies, all Australians, to provide social media companies with sensitive identity information, which poses a risk to our privacy rights in light of recent examples of data breaches and personal information being stolen. Technical workarounds, such as VPNs and false age declarations, may undermine the effectiveness of the ban. Additionally, a ban will not address the root cause of online risk or make the platform safer for everyone. End of quote. The workarounds to this measure have not received enough debate. The bill carves out gaming sites, many of which have a chat feature. Children will move over to chat rooms and gaming sites which are not supervised. TOR, and more accurately onion routing, will provide another avenue for communication which is designed to make supervision exponentially harder than mainstream social media platforms. I have advice from a leading internet security company that peer-to-peer social media is making a comeback, which again is harder for parents to supervise than current social media platforms. As a result of this legislation, children will be exposed to more harm, not less. I had a call from a constituent It's not often Senator Young tells me I'm right. I had a call from a constituent a moment ago who called their local Liberal Member of Parliament about this bill and was told, oh, it's okay, you can just sign up for your children. With age assurance software, that will not work. With digital ID connected to age assurance software, the social media platform will know what you're doing. Don't be telling people it's nothing, you can defeat it. You can still talk to granddad on Facebook. You won't be able to. Children may be able to use VPNs, virtual private networks, and the new PPNs, personal private networks to appear to be in another country. That really won't work either. The keystroke logging that accompanies the age assurance software will assume someone pretending to be in Canada but interacting with Australian accounts is probably using a VPN. Minister, why did you say that this won't lead to digital ID, but your amendment says exactly that?
Minister.
Thanks, Chair. I appreciate the many pieces of advice I've had about how I might answer questions, but I'll answer the questions in the way that I think is most appropriate to give Australians the information that I think is necessary in relation to the bill. So thanks for all of the free advice, but I'll just answer the questions. Senator Roberts, I think, foundationally misunderstands the amendment that's before him. The amendment specifically seeks to set up the circumstances where a platform may not require a person to provide a government form of identification, including identification within the meaning of Section 9 of the Digital ID Act, as the only means of assuring age. The platforms must
Just a quick little interruption.
opportunity.
One, I just put a new post up, and two, Gerard Rennick liked my post when I said to tell them that we are watching in the Senate. So fingers crossed, he does it. Please, Gerard Rennick, come on.
That is precisely what the amendment before you seeks to do.
Senator Canavan.
Very much, Chair. Well, look, I think from the debate it's very clear that we are not sure yet whether this hasty, blunt attempt will do anything to reduce the social harms to children of social media. But what we do know for sure is that we have successfully disillusioned a whole generation of Australians with Australian politics. A whole generation of Australians have watched this saga, this sordid saga over the past week play out and be completely disillusioned with their democratic process that they should have an involvement in, that we've completely denied them their voice. I mean, maybe we've scheduled the debate for 10:30 p.m. on the last day of school because we know that all the people that will be impacted by this ban will be at bed. It's past their bedtime. They can't even watch it. They haven't been able to have a process through the Senate inquiry. We had 15,000 submissions in 24 hours, and we had an inquiry of 3 hours the day after. And nobody, of course, could read anything but a fraction of those submissions. Only less than 1% of them were published on the website before the report. This is an absolute outrage and a stitch-up of grand proportions. And I don't think it's going to work. And I don't have time tonight because I want to let other senators speak. I don't think it is going to work. I know that the stitch-up is in. So I am going to try and make the bill better. I am going to try and fix the issue that Senator Roberts logically pointed out there. Why are we letting digital ID be a means of identification at all? It's not used at the moment at all, really. It's not in widespread use. So why don't we just rule that out right now? If it's something that comes into use in years to come, we can always change the law. There's a review built into this law in 2 years' time. We can do it then. If we were serious about responding to the concerns about digital ID, let's just get rid of it. And my amendment would do that. I've also think, why is it that we've got this bill that seeks to, the minister says, to help parents, and the word parent is not mentioned at all in the bill? There's not a single mention of the word parent in this bill. Why? Why aren't we helping parents rather than try to replace them? That's what this bill tries to do. It tries to set up a nanny state where we think here in Canberra that we can pass this law and all look how great we are, pat ourselves on the back, how we've saved the world, when it won't do that and it won't help at all. Parents use their own agency, their own interaction with their children to use social media responsibly. So I have an amendment which would allow some children to continue to use social media with parental approval. It's based on the law in Florida that's just gone through. Our inquiry barely looked at that law. It went through after an actual process. It got vetoed by the governor in the first instance. It went back to the Congress in Florida, and they've improved it. That's the way a democracy should work. But we've just completely rode roughshod over that through this hasty process, truncated process this week. I have another amendment that would seek to narrow the definition here. There's a ridiculous definition in this bill which captures basically any app that enables interaction between two or more people, which is basically everything you do on the internet. It's going to cover apps like Strava. For bike riding, it's going to cover apps like Deputy that are used for people who work. 14-year-olds can get a job, but they can't have social media, apparently. Now, I know the minister's going to say that, oh, we'll exempt them and we'll do all this. But why? Why create this uncertainty when, again, the Florida law has a much more targeted definition which focuses the law on apps which cause social harm? That's what we should be focused on here. Now, I don't have the time to go through the others in detail. I want to let other senators have their turn. But I do come back to the point that a whole generation has been activated by this process. There is a silver lining here, perhaps. Right now, a guy called Mr. Anthony Kaloof is running a live stream of our broadcast here. He has 38,000 people watching. The official YouTube channel of Parliament has 800. He's got 38,000 young people absolutely pissed off with this Parliament right now watching. They are totally angry. And those people are going to grow up and they're going to keep voting. And I think there's going to be a lot of change coming to our Parliament years to come if we keep ignoring those people like we are tonight.
Senator Hanson-Young.
You and what a sham this is. And this is a piece of legislation that does not do what the government or the Leader of the Opposition propose that it does. It doesn't make social media safer. It doesn't make children and young people safer online. It's a sham, but the whole process has been a sham. Rushed through, limited inquiry, 3 hours of inquiry, no ability for the bureaucrats to actually answer questions properly, all under the guise that this was urgent and needed to be done, but it doesn't even take place for another 12 months. I tell you what this is about. This is about the pretense that parents over the summer holidays can tell their kids it's illegal to be on your phone. It's illegal to be on social media. Get off it. The Prime Minister says, the Leader of the Opposition says, the Parliament says, it's illegal, kids, not my fault, I'll take it away. It doesn't actually make social media safer for young people. And that's the devastating thing about this. Because we know that there are families who are struggling with this. We know there are young people who are struggling with their body image, their connection with their community, their peers. Young people who are finding themselves addicted to these dangerous algorithms. But this bill doesn't do any of that. This bill does none of that. All this bill does is gives the government and Peter Dutton the illusion, the fig leaf, to pretend that they've given parents some certainty. That you can say, look, kids, it's illegal. This is a rubbish bill. It has no substance and it doesn't even take place for another 12 months. This bill is so weak, is such a veneer. It's to make old people, oldies, adults, feel like they've done something. It's a false sense of security. It's also obvious that the people who have drafted and fought for the particular elements of this bill actually have no idea how young people engage with the internet. absolutely no idea. I mean, it's almost embarrassing. I mean, this is boomers trying to tell young people how the internet should work. That's what this bill is. Boomers trying to tell teenagers and young people how the internet should work to make themselves feel better. We've got Australian artists in this country who have only been discovered because young people have found them on YouTube, have engaged with their music, their creativity. This is going to put an axe through Australian creatives. Government hasn't even thought about that. The opposition leader hasn't even thought about that. The consequences of this bill are going to reach far further than this government and this parliament has been able to uncover. It is being rushed through. It hasn't been considered properly. It's not even going to take place for 12 months. There is no excuse for doing it in this way, except for the desperation that the Prime Minister had to match the dare that the Leader of the Opposition put, which was get it in place before Christmas. It's pathetic. It's a headline. It doesn't do what they say it will do. It creates a more unsafe culture and platform and environment, and will have unintended consequences. I can't fathom who in either the Leader of the Opposition's office, who's advising him, and who is advising the government to understand that this was a good idea to rush through. The Leader of the Opposition called the Prime Minister's bluff and he blinked. Silly, silly, silly. This is a piece of legislation that says boomers want to control what young people access online. They don't even know how it works. It's pathetic.
Senator Antic.
Look, we are running out of time, which is the most regrettable part of this entire situation. And I mean, we all of us here had a lot to say about this bill because it's so complicated. One of the issues we've got is that this required a deep, fulsome look, and we actually got this bill introduced into the House, I think this time last week, Thursday of last week. It was then put through to a committee hearing on the Monday, and then the report was delivered 2 days ago, and here we are, which is an extraordinary sequence of events for something that is highly, highly complicated. And we've just heard Senator Hanson-Young quite rightly say that we don't know what the long-term effect of all of these on various platforms is. We don't know because it keeps evolving. This time last week, we were told Snapchat was out, and YouTube was in terms of the ban. So, I mean, how far we've come in a week, you know, it's extraordinary. And I mean, look, we all hear the stories about bullying. We all hear and have a lot of concern about those. We don't want to discount those concerns by any stretch, but we are in the process in this chamber tonight, of throwing the proverbial baby out with the bathwater, because we've heard the Human Rights Commission, we've heard commentators and others from across the country tell us about the thing that we're not talking about, which is the value of social media to kids. Commissioner Finlay from the Human Rights Commission wrote an article in the paper this week stating very clearly and very correctly that in fact there are lots of instances where children benefit greatly from social media, including, but not limited to, instances of social isolation, of the tyranny of distance, and sometimes even with learning difficulties and so forth. So this just has not been considered enough. And the fact that we're standing here now rushing with 10 minutes to go when many of us couldn't even make proper contributions to a second reading debate is a disgrace. So we cannot, and Senator Canavan's absolutely right with what does this message say to the children of this country when we have spent all day talking about ourselves in this building, by the way, as we do all the time, and we've crammed this critical legislation into making senators juggle between ministerial answers which are being filibustered. I mean, this is just not the way to conduct a democracy, and I think we're much the poorer for it. So I'm going to cut to the chase because I think we still do have other senators. I think we do. Look, let's be very clear about this. We don't know if this is going to work, and we don't know if it'll have any impact on the problem they're trying to solve here. If you want to see some of the most egregious abuse you'll ever see online, go online to a Call of Duty game and listen to the kids going at each other, talking about people's... It's exempt, quite right, it's exempt. So who's thought of that one, Minister? Who's taken that into account, and who ultimately is going to take responsibility when this goes the way of the Hindenburg, which it will, because it is a disaster waiting to happen. The Prime Minister and the Minister for Communications have boasted that the passing of this bill will make Australia a world leader in online safety. Well, they're wrong, because if this bill passes, we won't be leading the world in online safety. We'll be leading ourselves and those naive enough to follow us down the road to further digital authoritarianism, as outlined by Senator Roberts today. My fear is that when we finish tonight, we will have put another brick in the wall of a social credit style system in this country, and let everybody look back on tonight as a night of shame.
Just hold on, Senator Babette, you have the call. Please put his microphone on. Senator Babette.
Thank you. End of the day, like I was saying, the most important thing that we should all be thinking about and talking about in here is to affirm that parental responsibility rests in the hands of parents, not in the federal government. And I would have thought that was a very simple statement, but apparently it's not. Apparently the government has to be our daddy now. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that the Labor Party, along with the Liberal Party, have come together to take away parental rights, parental response, in my opinion, is shameful. It's shameful. The fact that we are now in a position in this country where the government is so big, so unwieldy, so, in my opinion, authoritarian leaning, that it's making decisions for parents is just wrong. We didn't even get a chance to properly debate this bill. We didn't even get a chance, not even a chance. Look, mums and dads are the best people to raise their children as they see fit. It's their right, it's their responsibility. The government's determination to do the job of parents by this blanket ban of under 16s, it undermines that primacy of these parents. Like I said before, it's not the state's role to go around telling 16-year-old and under what they can and they can't do. Can you have friends on TikTok? No, the government's going to decide for you. Can you see your family photos on Instagram? The government's going to decide that for you. Can you get the news off Elon Musk's X platform? The government is going to decide that for you. It's wrong. It's wrong. Decisions are for parents. It's an intrusion of the state. For that reason, obviously, I'm not going to support this bill. I don't agree with it at all. And like Senator Antic mentioned before, it is another brick in the wall of an authoritarian digital tyranny that most people can't even see is being built around them right now. In my opinion, this bill's got nothing to do with kids. Like Senator Canavan said, parents doesn't even appear in the bill at all. It's about building that digital prison. It's about age verification for everybody in the country. Now, we all know, whether the minister will admit it or not, that digital ID is the foundation of a coming social credit type system, combined with digital currency. In the future, you are enabling a system right now where the government will be able to control every single facet of your life and what you do online. We are slowly creeping towards this totalitarian state. Very, very slowly creeping towards it, but it is happening. It is happening. At the end of the day, this bill is obviously ill-conceived. We're spending money on this. We're going to spend time on this. It is going to be a failure of a bill. If you really wanted to protect kids, if you wanted to protect them, what you would say is let's put some programs together where we can help parents, where we can teach parents, empower parents to make better decisions for their own children. Because at the end of the day, parental responsibility rests with parents, not with the government. Even though you've all come together, or most of you have come together to rush this bill through, I want the record to show, I want history to show that Senator Ralph Babet from the United Australia Party was against this bill and he'll vote against it.
6 minutes, unless Senator Colbeck was interested, wish to speak. Senator Colbeck.
Thank you, Deputy President. Thanks, Senator Canavan. I'll keep it quick because I know that you might have some more things that you want to say. If you want an example of how not to legislate something that is important and of moment to our community, have a look at this piece of legislation. Have a look at this piece of legislation. Arrived in the Parliament last Thursday, 4 hours into Senate inquiry on Monday night, and we're expected to pass it with effectively very little debate in this place. And quite frankly, the legislation deserved a proper parliamentary process, and this government shows its disrespect for the Parliament and also for the Australian community by trying to shove it through in the way that it has. As many across the chamber, and I'm surprised to see some of the coalition, if you like, that's opposing this legislation, have said, it really hasn't had the work that needs to be done. This is a genuinely important issue for our community. A genuinely important issue for our community. I don't diminish for a moment the pain and anguish that people have felt through the impact on their children and their families through online bullying. I don't diminish that for a moment. I feel it. I've been close to families who've seen it, as we most likely all have. But this is not the way to deal with this. This is not the way that a parliament properly deals with a matter of this moment. The concept of excluding a huge swathe of our community from a form of communication just does not sit well with me. Just does not sit well with me. Now, I respect my colleagues. I respect the arguments that are being made by those who want to do something, and clearly we should be doing something. But this is not the way to do it. This is not the way to do it. And in that circumstance, I cannot vote for this legislation. It should not be rammed through in the way that it is. This Parliament, it doesn't come into place until 2026. And so the government should do the Parliament and our community the respect of looking at this process properly so we can make sure we can come up with something that will work, will support our families and support our communities, and try and do something to mitigate the problems that are there. But I fear that this is not it.
Senator Canavan.
Just ask a simple practical question of the Minister before we wrap this up. I've got a real world example that's come to me of a child, 15-year-old child in a basketball team who communicates over Facebook Messenger with their coach and teammates. Will that person be able to continue to do that even if they have their parental approval once this legislation comes into effect?
Minister.
I'm advised that messaging and gaming are not intended to be covered by the purpose of the bill, and I have not finished speaking, in fact, Chair.
Yeah, let her speak. Let her speak.
And in the minutes available, I'll say this. I read this quote from a parent involved in the Safe on Social group, and she said this: "What I've seen in the past 12 months alone has made it impossible for me to remain on the sidelines. For every mother sobbing on the phone or emailing me because her child has been humiliated or manipulated, there's another parent in despair because they don't know how to stop the chaos. I can no longer ignore that what we've been doing simply isn't working. Education alone is not enough."
Senator Canavan.
Just to clarify, as I was trying to point out with a limited time, you need a Facebook account to use Facebook Messenger. So how will that work?
Minister.
Look, the advice that I have is that these carve-outs will be able to be effective in relation to messaging products.
Senator Canavan, you
Thank you very
25
much.
seconds.
Just in the final 20 seconds, I know, as I say, this live stream, I mentioned up to 45,000 people watching now. They're obviously very disappointed with the process this place has gone through. I think it's not the finest hour for our Senate to guillotine a debate of this nature, of this importance to so many Australians. There was no need for this rush. Absolutely no need for it. We could have done this next year. Could have still had the start date that's intended. It's a real shame. It's a shame that we've got to this state in the Australian Senate.
The time has expired. Senators, order. Senators, pursuant to the order agreed to earlier today, the time for consideration on the remaining stages of the bill. So we come to sheet SY115, in the name of the government. The question is that the government amendments on sheet SY115 be agreed to. Those the question say aye. Against, no. The ayes have it. I will now deal with the amendments circulated by the Australian Greens. We're on sheet 3201. The question is that the Australian Greens amendments on sheet 3201 be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. I think the noes have it. I will now deal with the amendments circulated by Senator David Pocock. This is sheets 3205, 3206 and 3207. The question is, yes. So different on 3205. Does any other senator want me to separate the questions? I'll be putting the two questions then. The first will be on 3205 and then a second question in relation to 3206 and 3207. I put the question that the Senator David Pocock amendments on sheet 3205 be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. I think the noes have it. The division required. Ring the bells. It'll have to be for 4 minutes.
I'm trying to eavesdrop so bad.
All right, guys, I'm composed now. Kind of. Wow.
I'm pretty sure there's a bitch fight happening. I'm trying to listen.
I can't believe that happened. Wow. Thank you, Matt Canavan.
Thank you, Matt. I think you really came through in the end. What do you guys reckon?
Just for my own selfish reasons, I can now officially say that I can join you in the Hansard of the Australian Parliament of, you know.
Yeah.
I'm officially in Hansard. by my full name.
I swear you have been before, though, when you got arrested. I don't know, same as me, I guess. Couple of random mentions and then like full-blown mentioned.
Wow. Well, let's just see what happens now.
Do we know what were in Pocock's amendments?
Let me have a look. I like lost all focus. Let me have a look.
Yeah. It all went really fast for me after that last bit. I'm like, shit, what did they just pass?
Was the question for the committee is that the Senator David Pocock amendments on sheet 3205 be agreed to. Those for the question pass to the right of the chair, noes to the left of the chair. I appoint Senator McKim as teller for the ayes and Senator Askew as teller for the noes. Honourable Senators, there being 19 ayes and 34 noes, it's passed in the negative. I'll now put the second question on Senator David Pocock's amendments. The question is that the Senator David Pocock amendments on sheets 3206 and 3207 be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. I think the noes have it. I will now deal with the amendment circulated by Senator Canavan. So we come to sheet 3181. The question is that item 6, Schedule 1, stand as printed. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. The ayes have it. Do you want a division? Division required. 1 minute bells. Ring the bells, 1 minute. Lock the doors. The question is that item 6 in Schedule 1 stand as printed. Those to the question pass to the right of the chair. Noes to the left of the chair. I appoint Senator Grogan as teller for the ayes and Senator Canavan as teller for the noes. Honourable Senators, there being 35 ayes and 19 noes, it's resulted in the affirmative. We now come to the question. Can I have some order to my right, please? The question is that the remaining Senator Canavan amendments on sheet 3181 and the amendments on sheets 3180, 3181, 3183, 3195, 3215 and 3261 be agreed to. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. The noes have it. Division required. Ring the bells. 1 minute.
Does anyone know where the rest of the class is? Why do I feel like there's a Canberra Christmas party happening while this is going on?
Lock the doors. The question before the committee is that the remaining Senator Canavan amendments on sheet 3181 and the amendments on sheets 3180, 3181, 3183, 3195, 3215 and 3216 be agreed to. Those for the question pass to the right of the chair, noes to the left of the chair. I appoint Senator Canavan as teller for the ayes and Senator Askew as teller for the noes.
God, this is insane. 50,000. This is absolutely wild. I'm just so glad that people are actually watching.
X-Man's comment, the fuck knows have it.
Wow. Yeah, I know it's accumulated views, but that's massive though. That's massive amount of views.
Yes.
I'm glad that we were able to get a lot of people watching it. That's for sure.
Yes. Yes. It was only a few minutes long.
Yeah, I am 1 minute away from being live for 14 hours.
Honourable Senators, there being 19 ayes and 35 noes, it's passed in the negative. Pursuant to order, I will report the bill. Honourable Senators, the committee has considered the Online Safety Amendment
Okay,
Social
this is the
Media
vote.
Minimum Age Bill
This is the vote.
2024 and agreed to it with amendments.
This is the vote now, guys.
The question now is that the remaining stages of the bill be agreed to and the bill be now passed. Those for the question say aye. Against, no. I think the ayes have it. Division required. Ring the bells. 1 minute.
1 minute to decide the fate of Australia. We get 1 minute.
Oh, the bitch fight, the bitch fight.
Oh, I'm shaking. This is going to be the side of yes, for sure. It's stacked
Well-
with Liberals.
And where's the rest of the class as well?
It's going to be like 30 something to like 15. It's part.
Man, they all should have showed up to vote no anyway.
Lock the doors. The question before the Senate is that the remaining stages of the bill be agreed to and the bill be now passed. Those for the question pass to the right of the chair, noes to the left. Appoint Senator Grogan as teller for the ayes and Senator McKim as teller for the noes.
All right, guys, in about 30 seconds after the vote number has been counted and he says it, I'm going to post it straight away. So just get ready. Like within 30 seconds, it's going to be up like that.
And we need you to share it. Share its mum.
Honourable Senators, there being 34 ayes and 19 noes, It's passed in the resolved in the affirmative. Clerk.
Bill for an Act to amend the Online Safety Act 2021 and for related purposes.
Senator Grogan. Can I have some order, please? There's still some Senate proceedings to be undertaken.
On behalf of the chairs of respective committees, I table reports and documents listed at item 16 on the dynamic red.
The President has received letters requesting changes in the membership of committees. Minister.
Okay, guys, you are not going to like this
Thank you,
list.
Deputy President. I seek leave to move a motion to vary the
Guys, you are
membership
not
of
going to like
committees.
this list.
Leave
I just
granted.
posted it.
Leave is
You are not going to
Thank
like
you.
this
I
list.
move that senators be discharged from and appointed to committees as set out in the document available in the chamber and listed on the dynamic red.
I put the question. Those for the question say aye. Against no. The ayes have it. The President has received messages from the House of Representatives informing the Senate that the House has agreed to bills with amendments and returns a bill without amendments. The details will be published in the Senate journals. Minister.
Thank you. I table a replacement explanatory statement for the National Anti-Corruption Commission Regulations 2023.
Minister.
Thank you, and this will be the best news for everybody here this evening. I move that the Senate at its rising adjourn till Tuesday the 4th of February 2025 at midday, or I'm very happy to be bringing you this good news, or such other time as may be fixed by the President, or in the event of the President being unavailable by the Deputy President, and at the time of meeting so determined shall be notified to each senator, that leave of absence be granted to every member of the Senate from the end of the sitting today to the day on which the Senate next meets, and that the Senate do now adjourn.
I put the question. Those for the question say aye. Against no. The ayes have it. The Senate stands adjourned and will meet again on Tuesday, 4th February 2025 at 12 noon. Happy Christmas and Hogmanay.
Traitors don't deserve holidays. Will the people vote no? Motion denied. Sit there all summer and think about what you did.
Jacinta Price voted yes. Jacinta Price voted yes. Jacinta fucking Price.
Share that post, y'all. Share it. They need to know we're still pissed.
I can't believe
Oh.
Jacinta Price voted for it. That fucking bitch.
I'm guessing our favourites voted no, though.
Yeah, I've posted all of the names and faces already. They're all up. So if anyone wants to, what the fuck is this? If anyone wants to share it, go crazy. I cannot believe Jacinta Price, man.
Thank you, Matt Canavan, for crossing the floor and saying no.
Yeah, well done, Matt Canavan.
Thank you, Alex Antic, for doing exactly the same thing. Well
Yeah.
done.
Nah, but big shout out to Matt Canavan, because he fucking changed his mind after all of that pressure that we put on him, and he sucked it up. He didn't abstain like that was reported, and then he voted no.
And we love a man who listens in the parliament.
But I'm shocked at Jacinta Price for some reason. Why'd I think different of her?
I don't know. Maybe she wants to be Prime Minister. I don't know. That would be why I would be abstaining if I were her. Or
No,
voting
she voted
yes,
for it.
rather. Yeah.
Well, we've got our list.
You know what gets me? How chuffed they all are, just laughing while all of this is happening, while the rest of us at home are sitting here spiraling about the occasion. They all can't wait to go and have drinks and celebrate the end of the year.
Yeah, they're all celebrating and cheering. We'll be back in 2.5 months from now. Have fun, guys. Oh.
Yeah, don't come back. Just stay there.
Just give me a couple of minutes, everyone, and then I'll go through all the comments. And then I reckon we'll just sort of have a little bit of a debrief and then wind down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you a collab shortly.
All right, I'm ready. You
On
know,
this
even
live collab.
though the vote wasn't going to be close, I'm still kind of irritated that people didn't show up to vote no anyway. Because it's
Yeah,
nice to know
where was Pauline Hanson?
Yeah. It's like, I get it. Everyone's got a lot on their plate, but it is important as a means of principle to be there. Man. You know what? Either way, we're not complying. They can go and get stuff though. I'm reasonably sure they're going to stuff this rollout up anyway, even if it is in a year's time. I think even with a year to prepare for it, they will still somehow flop it because they can't seem to do anything right in the parliament. Yeah, that's right. We have a year to push back. Yes, we do.
We don't even have a year. The next election, they can all go get fucked.
Yes. Yes, they can. In a very big way.
I'm glad Jackie
Yeah.
Lambie stuck with her word and voted no.
Yeah, like she was difficult to deal with in those inquiries, like in the committees. but it was good in the end. Yes, they are incompetent. Yes, they are.
Okay, all the posts are up.
All right. So just to address the comments, the reason why people don't show up, and I don't agree with it, I'm sure a lot of them have the reasons, but if they don't show up, it's because they know definitively that they don't have the numbers to win. So, yeah, I don't like it either. People should be there till stumps on an issue that's this important to the Australian people. But it's not a direct betrayal. It's more like a defeatist, I've got other things to do sort of situation.
Okay. Everything's updated, I think, as best as I can. Oh my God.
It all
Well,
happened
how's
so
everyone
fast.
feeling? How's everyone feeling in the comments? 14 hours, 14 minutes. All the names are posted. Every single name and face that you need is being posted. It's everywhere. Just go to my X account. It's already got like 700 retweets. I'll show you. So these are the ones that you really want to nail. Birmingham voted for it and then he retired. Birmingham was just like, vote and then peace. Who else? Who else are like real big pricks? Sullivan's a prick. James Patterson's a prick. Kovacic is a prick. Dave Sharma's a fucking prick. Bridget McKenzie can go stuff herself. Jacinta Price, fucking, oh. I mean, these people, these stooges, Labour, are we surprised? And then shout out to the Greens for sticking staunch, although I think the Greens inevitably wanted it to be even worse than what it even is. But I think the fact that they wanted it to be delayed would have been good enough, all things considered. Payman stuck to her word. Rennick absolutely was a fucking champion. Tammy Tyrrell, after saying that she doesn't want the government to like look after your parents, and then she stabbed me in the back like a day later, and she decides to vote no. I don't know what you're doing, woman. You gotta sort your shit out. Good job, Jackie Lambie. But I know that you wanted duty of care provisions in it. The problem with the term duty of care is that who gets to determine what duty of care is? Usually it's the government, and I'm not willing to let that happen. So well done, but no. Alex Antic, absolute MVP. Everyone, please follow Alex Antic on any channel that he's got, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. MVP of the whole saga, Alex Antic. Malcolm Roberts, MVP as well. Very, very big champion. He's like 1A Alex Antic and then 1B Malcolm Roberts, champion. Matt Canavan, thank you so much sincerely for the shout out. Thank you so much for giving the shout out with regards to the fact that there was so many people watching, pissed off, and quote, pissed off at what was happening in the Senate. They thought that they could drag this down till 11 o'clock at night, and they thought that no one would be watching. And we were able to bring a massive audience to witness this. And Ralph Babette, well done, man. But
Yes,
absolute MVP Antic and MVP Malcolm Roberts. Thank you so much to both of them, more than anyone else. And Matt Canavan, thank you for the shout out, just from me personally.
Yeah, even with Canavan, it wasn't easy though, with the political pressure on both sides. And it took him a while, but he got there in the end. And yeah, we're grateful. Very good. Tick of approval.
All right, I'm just going to quickly go through the super chats, the coffees, and then I'm going to go have a shower and rest.
And then you're going to get up tomorrow and go to Officeworks and print your entry in the Hansard.
I will definitely do that.
You should put yours and then mine.
Then I'm going to frame it and take a photo with it. I can't believe he actually said Mr. Anthony Kaloof. Wow.
With 37,000 pissed off Australians.
Can we just relive that moment? Let's relive that moment.
Can we please relive that?
I mean, we got to have a laugh.
Mm.
We know that we're going to get fucked. All right, let's screen share audio is lost 1 sec. Let me just reboot the window.
A guy called Mr. A whole generation has been activated by this process. There is a silver lining here, perhaps. Right now, a guy called Mr. Anthony Kaloof is running a live stream of our broadcast here. He has 38,000 people watching. The official YouTube channel of Parliament has 800. He's got 38,000 young people absolutely pissed off with this Parliament right now watching. They are totally angry. And those people are going to grow up and they're going to keep voting. And I think there's going to be a lot of change coming to our Parliament years to come if we keep ignoring those people like we are tonight. But a whole generation has been activated by this process. There is a silver lining here, perhaps. Right now, a guy called Mr. Anthony Kaloof is running a live stream of our broadcast here. He has 38,000 people watching. The official YouTube channel of Parliament has 800. He's got 38,000 young people absolutely pissed off with this Parliament right now watching. They are totally angry. And those people are going to grow up and they're going to keep voting. And I think there's going to be a lot of change coming to our Parliament years to come if we keep ignoring those people like we are tonight.
Hang on, did somebody say something in the background when you said that? I feel like I heard well done, but I don't know.
But a whole generation has been activated by this process. There is a silver lining here, perhaps. Right now, a guy called Mr. Anthony Kaloof is running a live stream of our broadcast here. He has 38,000 people watching. The official...
Someone whistled. They were like, woo. Did you hear that? Yeah.
38,000 people watching. The official YouTube channel of Parliament has 800. He's got 38,000 young people absolutely pissed off with this Parliament right now watching. They are totally angry. And those people are going to grow up and they're going to keep voting. And I think there's going to be a lot of change coming to our Parliament years to come if we keep ignoring those people like we are tonight.
Order. We'll show you order.
I mean, if that is an endorsement, I don't know what is, but I definitely feel grateful for the position that I'm in to be able to hopefully navigate this horrible situation towards a better situation. So I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, it's good that at least the message was amplified and made known to them, to their face, at probably the most climactic moment before the vote. But yeah, let me just quickly smash out the super chats and the coffees, which have become beers, and then I'm gonna call it a night. And then I'll just have some final words. So if anyone wants to just send a message and buy me a coffee / beer now. It's just a link in my bio on X. I'll refresh them and then I'll give you a shout out and then we'll call it there. So there's a bunch of super chats here. So Jackie Lambie, I thought was a lock. Yes, I'm surprised that she voted no. I thought with her topsy-turvy behavior and saying one thing and then doing another, I thought that was going to happen. But well done, Jackie Lambie. I'm glad that you didn't, and I'm glad that you voted no. So thank you for that. Ask Apple for update to disintegrate front camera. I mean, you've got blue tack in front of yours, so don't think you need to disintegrate it. Just tiny little blue tack. There you go. Daniel Lawson, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you so much. The Aussie dog, take some of my wife's money, buy some coffee, fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight. Thank you so much. Thanks for your wife's money. That's funny. Nah, I appreciate it, man. Congratulations for getting on the record. I am 100%. You know what? Maybe I can find it now. Senate Hansard. I'll see if I can find it. But thanks for that, man. We made the Hansard. Wow. Congratulations on making Hansard. I'll see if I can find it. If not, they probably haven't uploaded it yet. What's the date today? 28th. I'll see if I can find it. Thanks, Iron. Roy Everts, $100. You legend. No effing beer, champagne only. I mean, I'm probably gonna have a whiskey, but thank you so much for that, man. I'm definitely gonna celebrate the hard yards, the hard yakka that we pulled in, the 15-hour stream. But yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. Lisa Foodie for the $1. Thank you. Sally, we have all been seen and heard. Congrats. Thank you so much, Sally. You've been here most of the day. Thank you so much. Low Boss Super Sticker. Thank you so much. No penalty for teachers signing up under 16 to social media. I don't know. There's so many little bits of semantics that they haven't even considered. So we'll see what happens. Low Boss again. Thank you. At least 27K. We have peaked at 60K total viewers. It's probably more or less, but whatever the number is, it's outrageous. We definitely outperformed the parliament, that's for sure. Plain white noise for babies. Politicians need to respect basic human freedom. Bunch of authoritarian fucks. Thank you for that. Sally again, not illegal. End of sitting. Yeah, very common. They will go through every single amendment one by one. Yep. We saw it. We witnessed it all. I read that one. Ben Hickson, thanks for that. I think that's all of them. Yeah, I read that one. And I'll just quickly go through the coffees and then that's it. So if anyone wants to drop a coffee, it's just a link in my Twitter bio. Just there. And I'll read through them now, and then that's it. I'm going to take tomorrow off, and we'll reconvene probably over the weekend, maybe Monday. We'll start working on a strategy to get these senators and members of parliament out. We've got all their names, we've got all their faces now. It's time to get them out. Kim Dodds, thanks mate, sleep well. Thank you so much, Kim. Mark Watney, well done, keep fighting, brother. Thank you so much, Mark. Mr. Grant Gregory, thank you for being the voice of the people in 14-hour stream. For fuck's sake, they are taking 1/4 of the year off after doing this to the country. True. Don't worry, we'll get them back. We'll get them back. Paul Femo, you earned another beer. Thank you for that. Diane Dromgold, fantastic coverage. Thank you. Susie Hutchinson, thank you. Erin, thank you for your great work. Huge effort, much appreciated. Someone, you have been a trooper. Well done for your shout out and over 50k views. Thank you so much. Jen Jenkins, thanks. Reason Resist, appreciate your commitment and great work. Thank you. George, awesome job, mate. Well done regardless of the outcome. Thank you, George. Someone, thank you. Samantha Davidson, doing God's work with this live stream. I'm just doing my best, but thank you, Samantha. Danielle, God bless you. God bless you. Ivana, keep up the great work. Thank you, Iva. Rika Prototype, thanks, Anthony. You've been amazing. Thank you. Mikael, fight. Vanessa Hobson, been watching all day. Thanks for all your skills in bringing this coverage. Thank you, Vanessa. Someone Hunter, Christian, someone Mandy. Thank you. Hopefully we can stay online in the loop offline. Actually, yeah, if anyone's still watching, I'll tell you something that you can do to keep in touch. Worst case scenario, because I seem to be the person that always gets taken down before anyone else. Max, oh, thank you for the 10, man. Good work, buddy. Thank you so much, Max. You did a brilliant job of bringing everyone together. Thank you, Anthony. Penguala, amazing job. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much. If anyone wants to get any more in, it's just a link in my bio on X. I'll stay on for another 5 minutes, and then we'll call it there. Oh yeah, so in the event that social media accounts get taken down and there needs to be a way to connect, for those that are new here, I just want to give some context. Anthony Kaloof here, article, after financial review, contact Facebook for taking money from me for running ads about COVID misinformation, blah, 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 blah. My accounts were suspended. So I become a very public target when it comes to getting taken down on social media, because all it takes is one of these stooges to make a phone call to the platform, and then next minute my account's taken down. So if you go to the website that's, I'm just going to go full screen. If you go to the website that's on the banner here at osfirsttheagenda.com.au, just chuck in your email, join the email list, and you'll get updates as well. And I'm going to be really, really comprehensive and keeping you guys up to date with everything. So just drop your email in there, approve the email, and then I'll keep you guys updated on everything. Any final words, Millie?
Email them your contempt and disappointment, and email them thank you. Rest, and we have time to turn this around. This is not the end of it. They're incompetent, they're outnumbered, but mostly they're incompetent. Remember that, and we'll prepare accordingly for whatever dystopian shit they put in our direction. It's going to be all right.
John Quickheads, thanks for the tenner. I'm just going to refresh it one more time. And if I miss any over the night, I'll get to them at the next stream, I promise. Red Lily, more please and well done. Thank you, Red Lily. Rocky Roadster, the majors have taken their vote for granted for too long. They just want to win at any cost. Thanks for your dedication and tenacity. Don't give up now. It's just the beginning. You know what? I definitely think that shout out and endorsement from Matt Canavan will definitely give me new life, because right now I feel so tired and not defeated, but it was a bit of just a punch in the nuts. But that's definitely going to give me some new life. I'll watch that video tomorrow, and I'll watch it like 100 times, and I'm just going to be sitting there, and I'm going to clip my reaction when I literally just like went like that. I'm going to find my reaction. I'm just going to be like, oh, all right, recompose, refocus, and then lock in. Kate, I've been here for 3 days. Thanks, Anthony. You're a legend. Alex Antic for PM. Hopefully, Alex Antic, honestly, if there's anyone that I want to help as much as possible, it's Alex Antic. And I want to have him on the stream. I want to see if he wants to either jump on the stream or even like do a pre-filmed podcast. Hopefully he's willing to jump in. Slytherin, thank you so much. This won't last long. There shall be pushback, 100%. We'll reconvene over the week and then we'll go again. Great stream work you do. Time for bed so I can go to work and pay more taxes to these commie pricks. All right, last refresh. Red Lily. Peter, well done, Anthony. We won't give up. Someone, I can't believe these authority bastards keep completely insane. All right, I think that's it. Thank you so much, everyone. Andrew Garner, let's get the minor parties united. Conservative Alliance, third party. Great job, mate.
We couldn't have done it without you all. Thank you.
That's it. If anyone wants to drop a beer into the fund, I sincerely appreciate it. It's going to help me and help Millie keep on doing this, because we literally do this on a volunteer basis. So this money does go a long way to help us continue. First thing tomorrow, after I watch that video a million times, I'm going to buy a nice microphone and replace this dodgy $30 lav mic. And I'll get you one, Millie, as well.
I've got one. I like my microphone.
We're
I'm
using-
happy with the ghetto setup. I don't know.
Dumb cheap shit. Nah, I'm definitely gonna use the money wisely. I'm gonna buy a good mic tomorrow. I think that's it. Ospat. Yeah. That's it. If anyone else wants to drop one, it's just a link in my bio on X, and I'll read them over the weekend, and then I will go over it next stream. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night. Don't stress too much. We knew it was almost inevitable. We did our best. Just remember, the misinformation bill has been defeated. So we did get a win. Despite all of the consequences and circumstances of the last couple of weeks, we did get a win. So just remember that. We didn't take a complete L. We got one W and one L. We lost the battle, but we will win the war. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. 15 hours. Thank you so much.